Hello, and welcome to another episode of Crush That Exam Success Story. My name is Ayana, alumni member of Crush That Exam program. And here today we have another person who is going to share their success story of how they overcame the exam. All right,
Mhm.
first introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and where you're located.
Sure. So I am Jerez Mitchell. I am located in Charleston, South Carolina. Um, right now, I am working for the Charleston VA in the General Mental Health Clinic. I did my postdoc there, and I mean, I'm sure we can talk more about that later. I am a mom. I'm a deaconess. I'm an avid volleyball player, and I am just so thrilled that I have finally crushed this exam.
Yes, you did. Wow, Dress, you wear so many hats. And I'm so grateful that you were finally able to get this exam behind you so you can just focus on your life.
That's right. You and me both, girl, because this was a thing. This was a hurdle for
Well,
sure.
can you kind of tell us what was your exam experience like before the coaching experience?
Before the coaching experience, I was out here trying to do this thing on my own. I right out of grad school, I took or I got academic review and I tried that. Took the exam, did not pass. And afterwards, if I, sorry, memory is kind of shot, but if I remember correctly, I tried to take it again. Now, when I tried to take it again, my dad recently passed. And so I was in this whirlwind and I was like trying to study and grieve and do all the things. And like my community was like, mm, and I was just like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just try it again. And again, I didn't pass. And so then I was like, okay, I've really got to buckle down with Erica. And Erica came into the picture. And if you haven't had the opportunity to meet with her, or if you are just thinking about doing the program, I would say absolutely do it because it is a structured program. It's structured, but it's also flexible. And it is something where it is curated for you specifically and all the things that you've got going on in your life. And some of the things that Erica would tell me is that I had too much going on. I was trying to do too much. And I'm sure that's like the same story for a lot of people. We're just doing too much and trying to handle too many things. And she'll tell you, she'll be very upfront and clear about, yeah, no, we're not about to do that. You need to figure something else. Because there were many times that I was trying to do it and do it the way that I want to do it. And that wasn't working. It didn't work. And so I really had to come to terms. I went to therapy, I did my own work and just come to terms with like, you have to utilize the program, trust the process, and just don't try to do your own thing because usually that doesn't work out. At least it didn't for me. I had to trust the process, trust Erica, and move forward from there.
Yes, yes. No, I think you brought up some really great points, Jerez, about trusting the process and making sure you're not doing too much.
Mm,
Because oftentimes, I know I can use myself as an example as well. I just wanted to get the exam over with. I wanted to move on and just be done with it. But you can't move forward with this exam until you have settled all the other areas of your life.
that's right.
That was really a really, really important lesson that Erica, had to teach me. And it sounds like she kind
Mhm.
of she teaches all of her coachees that same lesson as well.
That's right. I had to get things in place. I had to get my mom in place, my son, the dog, the husband. Everybody we all had to be on one accord. It was like a family meeting, and everyone needed to know your role, know your place, know what we're doing. We're saying a lot of no's to a lot of things, and saying no right now, at least in that season. Even though I was like, I don't want to say no, like I had to. If I was going to make this a priority, if this is what I wanted to do, I had to say no to a lot of different things. And I'm so glad that I did because it created the space and the capacity to be able to study, to get things done, and to pass the exam.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Mhm.
So some individuals out there might be wondering, how did you find this coaching service that really created this structure for your life? Do you recall like how you were able to even find Crush That Exam or find Erica's services?
You know what? I think I was on, um, it must have been like an EPPP Facebook group. So yes, I am still on Facebook. Yes, I still utilize Facebook as a resource for things. And I think I saw somebody talking about her on Facebook. And I was like, okay, yeah, let me check that out, see what that's like. And I was like, okay, let's be very clear. It's an investment, but it's a good investment, right? And I'd rather invest in this on this side of things than having to invest in paying that exam price time and time again. So yeah, just
Okay.
working right on out. Yeah, we just gonna have to listen. We we better go shop at Aldi, Dollar Tree, whatever you need to do, so we could make this investment. And again, it was such a good decision. It was such a great decision to do so.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it definitely is an investment and it's a temporary sacrifice for a
That's right.
long-term gain, is how I like to
Yeah.
think about it.
Come on. That's exactly what it is. Mhm.
So as you were going through the program, what were like three things that you most liked about the exam coaching program?
What do I most like? I like that I could touch base with Erica at any time. Like, even though we had, like, our set schedule. That was another thing. So 2 in 1. I like that we could schedule out, and so we knew when we were gonna be meeting. I love that I got the reminders and got the emails about when things were going to be. And I love that I could email her, like, off rip. Like, again, for me, this was a long process, and so there were times in my study season where I was like not studying the way that I should because I was trying to do too much. And so like I would be able to email her and be like, "Hey, I didn't really study this week. I was doing these other things." And she'd be like, "Okay." It was like she never shamed me. She never made me feel guilty. It was never like, "Oh, you should be doing this." It was never any of that. She truly allows you to come to it on your own with the guidance that you need to say like, "Hey, if this is what you want to do, then these are the steps you need to take. When you're ready, we can take these steps. But until you're ready, it's on you. You can do what you want to do." Because at the end of the day, we're adults, we're grown, things are going to come up. Life does life. And again, when you're ready to buckle down, she's right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like there was a strong sense of accountability and support that really helped shape this coaching experience for you.
Oh, absolutely. She definitely is that.
That's great. That's great. How long did you do coaching with Erica?
I think did coaching with Erica for 2 years. Yeah, 2 years because I took the test twice with her. So 2 years. And on that first one, she was like, "Maybe." And I was like, "But I wanna take it." I was like, "Erica, I don't care what you're talking about." And we're grown, so she's like, "Okay, go ahead." She's like, "But maybe." And I took it and I didn't pass, and I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta do this again." And when I tell you I boohooed, I boohooed. I boohooed. I mean, full-blown cries, not everything, just full show. And then, like, I emailed her or I let her know, and she was like, "Okay, well, when you're ready to start up," she was like, "You were right there. We're gonna get back on this thing." And I took some time. I think I took like a year before I was ready. Like I I had to grieve. I had to go to therapy. I had to do the things, and then I came back, and at least for me, it was very much a spiritual thing for me. And that's why I kept telling her. I was like, "Hey, this go round, this is a spiritual thing for me, and so I'm going to trust you. God put you in my life for a reason. I need to trust you. I need to be prayerful, and I've gotta I have to make this, like you say, the sacrifices to get it done." And when I tell you things just lined up, when I finally like let go and just did what she told me to do, stay prayerful. it just lined. It lined up so well. I was like, "Girl, you should have moved out the way. I needed to get out the way first." And
Mhm.
once I did that, it worked right on out.
Yes, yes. Yeah, sometimes we need to take that step back
Mhm.
for ourselves before we can, like, jump back in. I know Erica put me on a what she called a detox. She's like, "You need to go through a detox." Like, just look at any study material for I think she gave me, like, 2 months, and that was the hardest 2 months ever. But it sounded like for you, it was a little bit longer. You needed that time to really
Mhm.
cleanse and just, renew and rejuvenate yourself, and
Mhm.
I think that's an important aspect of her coaching services that she provides her clients. Like, hey, she's able to recognize, like, you need time for you. Like, this
Yeah,
exam is going to be there, but you come first. And I
that's
think
right.
it's amazing that she sees that in her coaching.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. She does a really great job of that.
What do you think was the hardest part to overcome while going through this program?
The hardest part, um, staying staying consistent.
Mm,
Staying consistent, I had to find because for me, like, I'm an early bird, so I like getting up early and getting work done. And it was kind of hard finding other people who were able to do that because within, the crushy exam community, a lot of people were able to do like in the evening time or midday. So for me, like I like getting up early. Like I'm up before the birds and I wanted to study during that time. So that was probably like the hardest part being able to stay consistent. But the parallel groups were helpful on the weekends. That was really great. Um, and just making sure that everything else in the background, like life, was still moving forward. Because at least as a mom, as a wife, as a daughter, as all the other roles that I play, those things are still having to be juggled, but they have to be juggled in a way where you can say, like, again, I had to say no. Like, no, I can't go. No, I can't do this. No, I can't do that. I have to put these hours in. And that's the other thing. Like, Eric, once you sign up for this plan, you have to put in the time to study. Like, there's nothing else. Like, there's no other way to do this other than setting time aside to actually study. And doing that and curating that amongst your everyday life and schedule, that can be difficult. And it puts a strain, not only at least for me, it put a strain on like what I was able to do, what I was able to accomplish, and having to rely on my community to be able to fill in the gaps when I couldn't. And but we set all that up. Erica supported and said, get someone to take the baby to school, wake the baby up, who's packing lunches, like find the people, utilize your team, your family in a way that you can create 30 minutes here, an hour here. So that was quite beneficial.
That's great. That's really amazing how you kind of were able to be so flexible and kind of reframe how you navigated life so that you could focus on studying and getting the exam done.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone in the family knew Erica. I was like, "Hey, Erica said," and it was like, "Okay." Everybody's falling in line. Once I came off our meetings, it was like, "Okay, Erica said that we got to add an extra hour this week. All right, who's doing what?" It was like everyone knew. Okay, Erica said it, so we got to follow instructions.
Is there anything you think you would have done differently while you were going through this journey though?
Anything I would have done differently? I would have gotten out the way sooner. If
Mhm.
I wish I had listened on the first go round, sooner to her when she was like, "Maybe, but you might wanna take some more time." And I was like, "Nope, I'm about to take it. I'm just gonna take it, and it's just gonna be fine." And she was like, "Okay." And sure enough, it wasn't time. It wasn't time yet. And so, um, I guess, as I'm sitting here saying that, no, there isn't anything that I wish I had done differently because everything happened the way it was supposed to. So, but if I was to give advice to somebody else in their journey, I would just say, make sure you get out of your own way, follow the plan, try to be as consistent as possible, and get your team prepared. I think if you have those things and those things are aligned, I think it works out a little bit better.
Mm. Yeah, you kind of already started kind of giving the advice to the next generation almost. But could you kind of elaborate a little bit more and kind of tell someone who is possibly thinking about exam coaching, what would you tell them? What would you tell that person if they're just considering wanting to do exam coaching with Erica?
If you are considering it, um, then I would say go ahead and take the step forward. Take the step forward knowing that you're going to have somebody who's going to hold you accountable, but it's also going to allow you to be independent. And in that independence, be thoughtful about um, wanting to do it the way that you want to do it, thinking that you know what's best. Utilize her experience and her expertise, utilize the community. Um, get engaged with the Crush the Exam community because that was another thing that I utilized that I thought was really helpful and beneficial. The folks in there are quite supportive. I know there was one thread at one point where we had like playlists going, and that was really cool. The playlist because got new songs and was able to share some of my songs, and all of that was really helpful. So if you are considering it, I'd say go for it because and this is the other reason why I would say go for it, because if you think about it, I don't at least I don't know how everyone does grad school, but when I did grad school, we had a cohort, right? And so we did things together. You're able to support each other, learn from each other, learn how each other does things, and it'll help you remember. And going into this exam, I don't know why would we think we would want to, switch up the wheel. Do it the same way. Get the community, get the support, prep for the exam in the way that you've been doing it during in grad school. If you were successful in grad school, you can be successful in this. Utilize the same strategies that you utilize at that time to be successful here. And so I know for me, my cohort in grad school was strong, and we really had a really great job of supporting each other. And now that I did it through Crush the Exam, through this way, again, success occurred.
Wow. Yeah, you make a really good point. Like, use what you know. Like, if you were in a cohort experience, during your grad school years, why
Mhm.
not translate that same experience to studying for this exam, for the EPPP, whatever exam you're studying for? Like,
That's right.
use what you know. Like, you just made me think back about my own experiences. I'm like, yeah, that makes so much sense. Like, we're so used to like being tight knit and
Mhm.
working together and getting through our grad school experience together. Why not use that same model?
Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for reminding all our listeners about that because we know, do what we use what we know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Jerez, as we come to an end, I have one more question for you, and this is probably the more one of the best and inspiring questions I like to ask our a new alumni. What is something you are looking forward to or have been able to do now since you have crushed that exam, since you've passed?
Oh my gosh. I have I have slept in. On Monday mornings, I sleep in. I've become a Zumba instructor. I Yeah, like a week or two ago, I was like, yes, now I have time and capacity. I'm gonna do Zumba. Became a Zumba instructor. Um, I have been able to spend more time with my little one. He's not little anymore, he's 5, but I've been able to spend more time with him and go to his baseball games and swim and all of his activities. I've just been able to there's more color in my life. Like everything is brighter, everything is richer because I don't have that screen of, oh, you got to go study. I haven't thought about like how I've had to plan out my weekends anymore with saying like, oh yeah, I need to block off 4 hours to study this weekend. No, I've gotten time back. I've gotten capacity back. I feel like my memory is better now because it's like, oh yeah, I don't like I'm still writing things down in my calendar, don't get me wrong, but it's like, oh yeah, I can go and do these things now. So it just it is just a weight off my shoulders and it allows me to be able to now do what I want to do.
Yes, that is so amazing. I'm so happy to hear that you are living your life full of color.
Yes, vibrancy, color and
Yeah.
vibrancy. Mhm.
Well, thank you so much for sharing such an amazing story on Crush That Exam Success Stories with us, Jerez.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for having
So
me.
happy to have you, and we wish you nothing but success and happiness and vibrancy and color in your life moving forward.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I receive it all.